What's up, guys? Mason the Rock Henderson here. This is The Flash, Season 2, Episode 6, Enter Zoom. With a title like that, you just know it's going to be good. Sure enough, this is the first episode where we see, Barry meets Zoom. Takes most of the episode to get there, but the build up to that was pretty good. Joe is completely against it. He's like, there's no reason that you have to do this. He brings up the Reverse Flash and how, after all that time, the man who killed your mother was finally defeated, but it was by Eddie, not you. So you feel like you have to make up for that by taking out Zoom. So Joe's against it. The rest of the team's like, kind of he's talking about using Dr. Light as bait almost. Ultimately, though, Cisco falls for the old. I've seen this trap done so many times. They're in prison, and somehow they're able to make themselves invisible. So, what? They're gone? Let me open up to check on it. Oh, they're not gone. Who was it? I think it was the toy maker. Yeah, the toy maker in Supergirl. Whenever he escaped from prison, it was the same thing. Like, he had a dummy of himself or something like that. It looked like he had killed himself or something, so the guard's like, what? Opens it up, and then gets attacked from behind, because he's an idiot. Cisco, I was really disappointed in, because normally that only works on, like, dumb security guards or dumb prison guards. This is Cisco. He would not... How in your right mind would you think, a metahuman that can control light, and she disappeared? Well, I have to open it up to check on it. Seriously? Like, Cisco's not that stupid. At least not from what I've seen. He's goofy, but he's super smart. He's intelligent. He's a genius. How would you not make the connection that she controls light? It makes sense that she would bend light particles to make it look like she escaped. I don't know. That was frustrating. But what they end up doing is actually pretty clever, in that they have Linda pretend to be Dr. Light, since Dr. Light's her doppelganger. Ultimately, though, it doesn't work out as well as I was hoping they would actually look good and look like it might actually work, and ultimately it does not at all. And I like the fact that it doesn't work, because it does speak to how good of a villain Zoom is going to be, that he didn't fall for something so stupid. If what Dr. Light is said is true about watching the portals, he watched that whole thing. And nobody in their right mind would go, oh, yeah, that's Dr. Light. I'm going to go over there now. It was very, very bad. Like, very poor all around. So I'm glad that he didn't fall for it, and he knew what they were doing, and that was shown later by the fact that he goes and kidnaps Linda, and then takes her to the roof of S.T.A.R Labs, drops her off. Barry saves her, and they have a fight to which Barry just gets his ass handed to him. I mean, it was... Watching the first fight against Reverse Flash, it was like, okay, so, Barry, he's not as fast as this guy, but he's still pretty good. He's still pretty fast. I could see him getting better, working on his powers, and eventually getting better than this guy. Which ultimately he never really got to that point. But he got pretty close. He could handle himself for a few minutes before Reverse Flash got the best of him. In this case, it's like it's over in a matter of seconds. He just Zoom beats him to a pulp. Just bop, 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 done. Like, there's no coming back from that. And ultimately, I'm thinking he's about to kill Flash. He's about to kill him. Like, I obviously I knew that overall Barry was not going to die. I knew Barry wasn't going to die. I knew he wasn't going to. But I thought he might kill him right now, and then they're going to have to do something to bring him back. But it looked like he was about to kill him. Like, he's dragging him all over the city, running at super speed, takes him to the newspaper, to which they kind of acted a little bit weird. Like, I'm not sure if they're trying to say that all news reporters are like this, but they all pulled out their cameras like, ooh, click, click, click. Um, but he takes him there and is like, "This is the Flash. This is your savior. He is not a god. He is a man." And then takes him to the police department and is just like, "I hear you've been helping him," and just really threatening. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. This is absolutely crazy. And then takes him back to S.T.A.R Labs and is about to kill him. The only problem I have with this scene is that it showed, Harrison Wells had brought one of the sniper rifles to shoot this like super speed dart in, or super speed. I don't know what to call it, but it takes away zoom super speed. Uh, and so he shot at him, fairly close, and zoom's like whoosh, and caught it with his back turned. In this case, Cisco does the same thing. It's a bit closer, and I guess maybe because he's distracted because he thinks he's about to kill the Flash, maybe that's why it works. But it's just weird that Harrison Wells couldn't do it, but then Cisco does in the last. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I don't. Yeah. Maybe I just want to find something to criticize. I don't know. It did kind of strike me as strange. I'm like, oh, so it works this time. Anyway. But yeah, it was a very intense ending. And ultimately, Barry loses feeling in his legs, which I'm sure will be okay fairly soon. But it's still kind of like, holy crap, that could affect his progress as far as getting faster and getting fast enough to stop Zoom. This could really hinder his progress, being paralyzed. Because it's like you're training. Think about like a sport. You're training and then you tear your ACL. That throws you back a lot. This is similar. Obviously, it seems a bit worse for paralyzation, but I mean, you think about the Flash. He can regenerate quickly. Being paralyzed seems like it would harm him in the same way that an ACL tear would. Like it affects not only the fact that you can't do anything for now, but also it feels like whenever he finally does get his super speed back, it's not going to be as good as he was before. So very curious to see where they're going there. What else? You get to see a bit more of who Harrison Wells is in this episode, because there's been a lot of mistrust, a lot of that stuff. We get to see a bit more of him in this. Cisco finally gets a chance to see, like, he touches him and gets to see what's going on. He sees Harrison Wells' daughter kidnapped by Zoom, and he reveals that Zoom kidnapped his daughter, and he has to capture Zoom to save her. And you kind of understand him a bit more, because honestly, the one big difference between this Harrison Wells and the one from last season is that this one is a bit more, like Cisco said, he's a bit more of a dick. Whereas the Harrison Wells last season was a bit more lighthearted. He seemed like he was a friend. He was a mentor to Barry. This one seems like he doesn't want any of that. He's just there for one reason, to stop Zoom, and that's it. He's not interested in making friends. He's not interested in small talk. It kind of throws a little bit of a bummer into the show, but now that we know about his daughter, it makes more sense why he's acting that way. So, I think that's about it. There was, some more stuff between Patty and Barry. At first, it seemed like things weren't going to work out, and then Barry has one of those moments where he realizes, I need to go make sure that I've worked things out with this girl because she's awesome. And she really is. Like, if it were not for the fact that we've seen the future and it says Iris West Allen, and like I've said before, if they had tried to make it seem like that was a distinct possibility, I would say, well, maybe that's not going to happen. But because they're throwing Patty into the mix and it feels like, oh, maybe Patty and Barry, I'm like, no. This is just a wrench thrown in to throw off Barry and Iris for a minute. Kind of like what they did with Jim and Pam in The Office. Like, after Pam finally dumped what's-his-face in Season 2 at the end of it, Jim now has a girlfriend of his own. So it's like, they finally have a chance to be together, but now Jim's dating somebody, so wrong timing. Anyway, um, but yeah, another good episode. In fact, this is probably the best one so far this season, just because of the way it ended and how shocking it was. Um, can't wait to see what they're gonna do next. Uh, from the title, it's called Guerrilla Warfare. I think Gorilla Grodd's coming back. I'm so excited. Yes. Anyway, so let me know what you thought of this episode. What did you think of Zoom? First time actually seeing him really in action, and seeing him a bit up close, hearing him talk, all that stuff. What do you think of Harrison Wells and his daughter? Or what did you think? And leave a like and subscribe for more of The Flash. I'll see you at the next review. Peace out.